ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Lobby, GameSpot's weekly show about video games, people talking about video games, and all sorts of other fun. Hi, I'm Chris Waters. I'm standing in for Danny O'Dwyer. He is traveling the world, or some such, off on a vacation before Gamescom next week. But this week, we've got news about games, we've got debates about games, and we've got two guys on couch that I'm going to introduce right now. Andy Bauman, Jake Decker. What's up, guys?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. We're here to talk about Mafia 3 because Mafia 3 was announced this morning, even though it's kind of been rumored for years now.
Oh yeah, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about Mafia, Chris?
I want to know what you want in Mafia, Andy. I want to know, next week we're going to be getting more information about it, but until then, you guys have played some Mafia, significant amounts. What do you want from this? It's coming back after 5 years.
I kind of left Mafia 2 feeling like, all right, that's enough.
Cool. We did the Mafia thing.
We did the Mafia thing.
Nailed it.
We nailed it. We got it. Mafia 1 came out of nowhere. It was amazing. It was absolutely brilliant. The city was alive, in a way that even now games have a struggle getting at, because even cops would pull you over for speeding. You had to live in that world.
You had to obey traffic laws or suffer the consequences.
Yeah. And you could ride on the L train and go. It's like you're going to work or whatever, and then it's oh, now you gotta cap somebody,
do crimes,
and that's because you fell into the wrong crowd or whatever. So it had this cool feeling of it, and also maybe I was younger and more susceptible to
Well, that was 2002.
Yeah, that was a while ago. So
here we're seeing Greg Kasavin in his video review
with a baseball bat.
And then 2010, 8 years later, Mafia 2 came out.
Yeah, and it was all right.
Very highly reviewed by Kevin Van Orden at
really?
8.5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It was more of a shooter than the first game, as far as you had cover mechanics and you could blast dudes with an array of guns, and it was all right. It still had the driving the city, but it just didn't feel quite as, I don't know, revolutionary as the first one did.
Yeah, the city in Mafia 2, it was cool. It looked cool, but there wasn't much in there. It almost felt like a linear game, even though it was in a big city. And I think
why is this an open world?
Exactly. That was kind of my question. And even carried over to the end. Once you finished the game, I believe that was it, right? You couldn't go back in the world and free roam unless you wanted to start a new game.
So do you think, so there's the question of open world versus linear, right? I mean, if you're going to have an open world, you got to kind of do something with it. Otherwise, it's just so much space for you to traverse on your way and possibly get busted by cops.
With really terribly handling cars from the 50s that you try to drift. And you get points for drifting, I guess, for whatever.
You get points for drifting in a car from the 50s.
There's a whole bunch of weird details in that game. I remember you could go home and drink beer from the fridge and stuff like that. It was
And there was Playboys.
Yeah, just scattered around. That was the collectible, right? You'd go around the city and try to pick up the
I have to admit, I would try and find all the Playboys. I'm gonna.
You're not a grown-ass man who can just go into a store and buy some. You have to find it in a garbage can.
Not to dwell too much, but these were from the era.
Well, that was another thing.
Cool.
So that was another thing. The period sort of accuracy about Mafia has always been a real strong suit.
Yeah.
And in terms of the cars, the outfits, the sort of the music, the way that the world is constructed, these little details. So if we're looking at Mafia now, what kind of time period would you want to see it in?
So yeah, they should tear it all down and start over, right? Because we've done this mob thing, Italian-made men.
Yeah, I don't want to be in New York City again.
Yeah.
I want something more. I want something different.
So we were joking earlier, what if they made it it's still called Mafia, but what if it's just the modern drug game?
Yeah,
and it's
cartel.
It's Bodymore,
basically.
Maryland, or whatever.
Oh, The Wire.
Yeah, Murderland. It's The Wire or whatever. No, that'd be cool. But it's probably not going to be that. But
sure,
maybe they just take the setting somewhere else where there's never been a mob movie in, I don't know, Louisiana.
Yeah, that's one of the rumors that's been going around, and they teased an image sort of released today that you do see some Spanish moss on the trees there, on the sides, and you see some cars that look like I'm no carologist, but that's 70s-esque, right? I mean, we're past the 50s, maybe 60s, 70s. It's sort of, you see 4 people there lined up. I think one of them is a woman and the others appear to be dudes. So character has been another real strong suit in Mafia historically, that writing and the way they sort of, it's an interesting story. And so,
oh yeah, it gets real elaborate in too. There's different mobs on mobs killing people that you want to save, and then you gotta like help them, and then everybody dies, and someone's an FBI informant, and then you're maybe gonna die and fade to black.
At what point do you become a school teacher or a dock worker and just lament the failing infrastructure of the city that you live in?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully from as soon as you say
Hopefully
new
this is
game.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, like 2's story, I mean, it almost kind of felt like a Scorsese video game, sort of, just the way it was set up. I mean, it wasn't on the same level, but I mean, I'd like to see something again like that, like focus more on storytelling once again.
If it is in the what's it called, the Louisiana area, if it's in the bayou, that does seem to be pulling from like the first season of True Detective, like that just feeling and that storytelling. And I think these kind of games have always like pulled from movies like Scorsese and all that. So it's like, yeah, they want to keep going with those threads and like follow.
Yeah, so because there's definitely a different flavor to like that kind of fast-paced New York, like very Italian-influenced sort of gangster ethos, and then like the sort of maybe slower southern pace of just like, you know, like the days are drawn out in this suffocating heat, and like there's a lot more sort of rural spaces involved.
There's black magic.
Like. Yeah, there's like this Caribbean influence in there too. So it is, you know, there's definitely cinematic tradition, and of course, like with TV, with True Detective, something for them to draw on, and I think that's been a strength of Mafia in the past.
And I think the cool thing about the Louisiana setting, if that is the case, it's not something you typically see in games. The last time I think I was in Louisiana in a game was like Tony Hawk's Underground or something like that. Like,
Was Left 4 Dead 2 somewhere around?
Oh, yeah.
There was some Left 4 Dead
2 was as well.
And also in Battlefield Hardline, there's a swamp scene, but that's like Miami. That's Florida somewhere, but it's like the fan boat, you know, going through the swamp.
But
Maybe
like having an alive open world there, I think could be a really, really strong feature for the game. Hopefully set it apart from, you know, like Grand Theft Auto and all these other sort of free
just bringing to life a different kind of city, a different feel. And Mafia 3 announced today. Going to be learning more about Mafia 3 at Gamescom next week on Wednesday, I believe, the 5th.
Is there a trailer dropping?
Oh yeah,
Is that what's
there's
happening?
like the whole like thing is gonna setting, probably trailer.
Trailer.
Big thing coming out of Gamescom next week. Let us know what you think about Mafia 3 in the comments below, what you want to see. Andy, Jake, thank you guys so much.
Dude, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
All
right, folks, Lost Horizon 2, the Gamescom trailers are already coming. Here's one for Lost Horizon 2. Check it out. If you thought there were no games coming out this summer, you are wrong, and you are not playing Rocket League, which you really should be doing. But out this week, it's King's Quest, the first chapter in the new episodic series by the Odd Gentleman and Sierra. Joining me on the couch, Mary Kish and Jeremy Jane, two questers of Kings. You guys have played that game.
Yes.
Have you like done the whole first episode almost?
We're both really close. Well, Mary, I haven't beaten it. I'm close.
We're about like 3/4 the way. It's actually longer than I thought it would be, which
Way
I'm
longer.
pleasantly surprised considering that this is an episodic adventure. We were wondering how long they would be, a couple hours, but it's about a good 5-hour playthrough, I would say, for the first chapter. Give or take, and that's a great amount of time for the price point that they're selling them for.
$10, and it's way longer than I thought. Like I was talking to Mary yesterday when I was playing it for the first time, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm like almost done. And then she went home and played it, and was like, oh, you're like at the beginning of the end.
Oh no, Jeremy. So $10 a pop, or $40 for the season pass of 5. Pretty standard adventure, sort of Telltale-esque pricing model. We're going to talk about your guys' experience with the game. We're going to like soft pedal it on the spoilers. Obviously, you haven't finished it, and we know that a lot of you guys are going to be wanting to check it out too. So it's going to be pretty spoiler free, but want to talk about like like how you're feeling about it so far. Our review is coming this week, but from you guys, two people who have played it, you have different history with the King's Quest series. Mary, what's your perspective on this one?
Right, we were talking about this. Jeremy's fresh to the series, and I've played several King's Quests. This is actually one of the very first games my father ever bought for me on PC was King's Quest 7. And it was just this wonderful, magical point-and-click adventure, and I have a lot of wonderful memories attributed to the King's Quest series. This is like one of the best parts. There's like a mom and a daughter, and they're both looking for each other, and this is so standard. You're going to see a lot of things that you'll actually see in the current King's Quest kind of resurface. The same humor, character-driven story. You'll see a lot of items. It's really amazing how many items you get, and similar in the new one, there's about 5 different puzzles going on at once here. So it's not linear in this direct sense where you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing next.
You get the thing, you use the thing, you get another thing, you use that thing. That's not how it goes.
No, a lot of times you're not really sure exactly what you're getting all these items for, and they're not to be used for much later. So in this one, this is the kind of puzzle where you needed to find an item so that you could get through that pathway. And this King's Quest does a very similar thing where you actually can't get to the next area until you've found a very particular item, something that they tease to you, and the game does an excellent way of giving you a lot of clues. So there's more than enough hints along the way, so you're like, oh, I'm supposed to use this to get through that bush like that I saw a long time ago so that I can get to a well. It's all very well done in the storyline. There was almost no time in this playthrough so far where I've been like, well, I don't know where to go.
By the other side of that coin, of course, is have there been times when it's been just so obvious at every turn that you know where to go that you're kind of like, let me figure something out here. Stop giving me so much information.
Honestly, it's a pretty easy game. Like I feel like it's like family friendly. I don't think kids would play it and figure it out or anything, but I think like a younger kid with their parent alongside would not have too much of a difficult time playing through. But, the other side of the coin is, there were definitely times where I was like, oh, whoa, this puzzle is like deceivingly difficult. Like there were times where it got a little more complex on me than I thought it was going to. And that's one of the things I like most about King's Quest. And again, for people who missed that, I haven't played any of the King's Quest games. I'm familiar with them. I've seen them played. I've never played any of them. But this particular one, the new one, had this thing going on where it was sort of like, it would be very like Disney-esque and family-friendly, and the animation is all like hand-painted environments and stuff. It reminded me of Ni no Kuni a lot visually, but behind it, it's not a kid's game. Like there were things going on, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are characters who die unexpectedly, and I was like, oh my god! And I was like there was an emotional toll taken by this death, and I was like, if I was like a 5-year-old kid, I think this would be devastating.
It'd be a little upsetting.
Yeah, but it does have that fantastical sort of Disney quality to it, and it is very like just like magical and like fantasy driven, but it gets down to business. There's some real stuff going on.
It's interesting because the whole conceit is that you're playing out these memories of the king. He's telling this to his granddaughter, and so like right from the beginning, it does sort of set up that family dynamic, the dynamic of Papa Kish and Mary Kish like sitting down and checking out King's Quest 7.
King Kish.
It makes you feel the feels. There's times where, and the acting is just incredibly so much better. For the record, for any other King's Quest game, you'd be like, the writing's pretty good. Like the acting questionable, but I'm gonna let it slide. This one is really good.
Come a long way.
It's Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future is King Graham, old King Graham.
But they have a lot of the same, like this, and these are like these ridiculously silly characters. They do a really good job. They're paying homage to like old comedy series. You'll definitely see pieces of like the Knights of Nymph in here, and all sorts of really cool witty banter from characters that I don't even know if they have any value later on, but that's something that they're known for, is that you'll hear a story that might have nothing to do with anything, but it's entertaining and it's enjoyable to hear. I've had such a great time so far, and I really, really have liked this game.
And so you've been sort of queued up to expect a certain degree of that whimsy, right? Of that sort of being punny, of it referencing, fantasy tropes, and like it's almost, there's a lot of winks to, you're also acknowledging that there's a player playing the game, Jeremy, I'm wondering how that struck you, like in terms of sort of the overall tone, balancing humor with, more sort of dramatic moments.
So there's a lot of good sort of like meta humor, like you say, it acknowledges that you're playing a game. And so, for example, there's one thing where there's like 2 levers and you have to pick one, and there's no indication of which one you should pick. There's no like hints or anything. It's just 50-50 chance. And so the first time I tried it and I got it wrong, and I won't spoil anything, but something unfortunate happens to the player. And
Actually, they show it in the trailer. So
Oh,
it's
This
not
is
a
like
big
the
deal.
first decision you make. And
seen
also,
the
let me
trailer.
just say, there's a skeleton crushed by a thing next to the one that crushes you.
Is there?
when you
Then
do
I'm,
it.
I'm extremely unobservant. I was doing a speed run, Chris. Just King's Quest done quick. But anyway, other than that glaringly obvious hint that I missed, you are crushed, and it cuts back to old King Graham and Gwendolyn, and he goes, and that's what would have happened if I pulled the left switch.
But
Sure.
I'm here, so obviously I
clearly
did
that's not
push
what
that
happened.
switch.
So every time
Yeah.
you die in the game, it'll like create some sort of like elaborate narrative loophole, and it's like, oh, but that's not what happened. My favorite one of those is you get a hatchet at some point, and in an adventure game like this, you're point and click, you're like trying the hatchet. and
Let me
everything,
just-
like,
just
can I
start
cut this?
hacking
Can I cut this?
stuff
Can I cut this?
And you're putting on people and
So-
anything you can.
And that's the best part is like, so I tried it on one of the other nights, and you see Graham like wind up with it, and Gwendolyn's like, and you cut him, and Graham is like, oh no, I didn't do that at all. Like I couldn't use the hatchet there. That would have been wrong. But it's like it plays off of the fact that like on point and clicks you're trying to use everything on everything, and it definitely doesn't have an abundance of like it's clear enough without giving it away that you never feel like you're like, oh, I guess I'll just walk around hatcheting everything until I figure this out.
All right, well, this is episode 1, right? And so, it's sort of, it has the task of not just introducing you to what kind of game they want to be, immersing you in the style and introducing characters, but also of like setting a sort of arc or hinting at what's to come. And you guys had not quite made it to the end, and, we want to keep it vague, but like, do you feel so far that this is sort of a good kickoff for the series?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wanna go first?
I mean, I'm happy with what I've seen so far. I expect that a lot of these items will come back in the future. Previous King's Quests, if you saw a character that you loved and maybe you left them and they were angry with you or something like that, that could end up coming back 4 chapters from now and impacting you. It's interesting where you have no idea yet. It's very early on. I'm not really sure. They're setting up a lot of this live action story right here too with this girl and her grandfather. So you're not really sure exactly where all these characters in the story arc is going to go yet. But I already have anticipated recurring characters, things that will probably come back, and I'm really just excited to see what's coming. But it's a little too soon to make that call.
Yeah, there are a lot of choices you make, and I'm very hopeful that the future chapters will harken back to that a lot. Like, I hope that, because some of the choices are clearly just like, it'll change the story a little bit, but it won't impact like that rippling change of like, oh, you killed that dude? Well, guess what? You can't do this whole thing now.
It's not like a Life is Strange or any of those other, as far as I'm aware, where if you make a decision, Alexa was telling me that if you make a decision in Life is Strange episode like 2, you actually just miss a whole section in episode 3. And this doesn't seem the same thing. So Jeremy, I on purpose, chose different things to see what the impact would be. And there's this part where you have to like find a wheel. I found one from one shop and he found it from another. It made zero difference. It was just a choice.
Came back together.
Right.
You
But
just,
I
like,
really
little-
do hope that some of those choices do have more rippling
There's
change,
another
like the
one
larger decisions.
with the dragon later
Yeah.
where we both chose different things and it did have a different impact. So at that stage, I'm not entirely sure if later down the road, if you take down the dragon or if you help him, like how
the dragon on the loose now
will
or something.
will the dragon help me? So those are things that we just don't know yet. But it's exciting to see how far they're going to take that.
Will the dragon remember that in the parlance of
God, I
Telltale
hope so.
Games?
I hope he does.
All right, Mary, Jeremy, thanks for coming on, talking about King's Quest,
course.
A Night to Remember?
It is.
That's it?
It is, and it's recommended. I do recommend it for as much as
Thumbs
I've
up.
played it. I think
It's
it's
super
a great game.
value for $10. Insane.
We don't have a review on the site yet. I do know it's like really soon. It's already in and it's like up for Q&A. So it should be here really soon. But until then, Mary Kish recommends it. And Jeremy. Jeremy and I recommend it. It's really cool and it's fun, delightful.
Very cool. Our King's Quest review will be up shortly. It's out now on Steam and consoles. Consoles. It's coming to consoles. It's maybe not out on consoles now. I should have done my research.
I think it's on PlayStation, but not Xbox yet. I might be wrong.
It's
I might have that
actually, it is
switched.
on consoles. So the Xbox 100% and PS4 code didn't work, but I think it is going to be working today.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. King's Quest, A Night to Remember. All right, guys, we've got a debate coming up because the fall is bringing the return of the Rhythm Titans, Guitar Hero and Rock Band. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at a trailer for WWE 2K16. And even if you're not a wrestling fan, if you haven't heard this news, there's a very strange, very intriguing new character making it in to the wrestling ring when this game comes out. Check it out.
need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
You forgot to say please.
Wow, Stone Cold versus the Terminator. Can't wait for it. All right, this fall we've got the Rock Band games, the Guitar Hero games. They're all coming back in a big way. Guitar Hero Live versus Rock Band 4. We are here to check in on which one is leading the pack in sort of the midsummer stretch en route to a fall release. Mike Mahardy and Justin Haywald, thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
You guys, a couple of plastic rock superstars over here, from what I've seen.
You might say that. I've toured the world.
Living rooms,
fans by the
basements,
millions,
all around.
I'm a rock god, you might say.
We got a chance to play some Guitar Hero Live last week. They brought it by and we got to strum away. It was my first time with the new guitar. Very cool. Sort of, three and three buttons as opposed to 5 right in a row. And I think that sort of as the release of these games starts to loom closer and closer, it's the old rivalry is back. Guitar Hero, Rock Band.
That's what people are wondering. Like, that's the question that you're wondering. Like, which is the one that I'm going to get? Because it's an expensive prospect to, like, not only get the game, to get more of these plastic instruments, to take up the room in your living room. Mm-hmm. Like, is it going to be worth it to reinvest in Rock Band? Is it worth it to get this new guitar? And it's too early to say definitively, like, this game is better than that game. I mean, we spent so little time with both of them. But we definitely have an idea of where we're at so far based on what we played.
Yeah, so let's talk about what we do know. We know Guitar Hero has a new guitar. Mike, do you think that is the case for Guitar Hero or against it?
It's definitely a case for. I, like you, recently just got my first hands-on time with it, and I really liked it. It was kind of weird because I was really looking for a new reason to get back into Guitar Hero specifically because that kind of fell into second place for me back when I was still playing rhythm games. I loved Rock Band, but I grew up on Guitar Hero, so being able to have it's kind of like 2 strings now almost, because you can do frets. You do frets on the older ones too, but it still wasn't. I guess it's more realistic in a way, but the
classic 2-string guitar.
Yeah, exactly. So it took a little while to get used to. I mean, you guys both seem to grab it right away.
Yeah, it's a novel experience. I mean, it's because it's not just a single button, but there's 2 rows of buttons, and so you have to work with sort of different elevations of your fingers. And yeah, you get that like familiar cramping when you're like trying something really hard with your hand for the first time. It doesn't work out so well, but then you get the hang of it. And so, Justin, do you feel like it's the novelty of that play experience, or Mike, do you feel like that's a powerful draw?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've always loved about those games. Like, I've played Guitar Hero since before there was Guitar Hero, when it was the different Beatmania games from Konami. And like, this game came out, I didn't think it would live up to it. Guitar Hero was amazing. And just every iteration of that game, that challenge to make yourself even better on guitar. And like, this takes it, like, it makes your brain think in a different way. And like, that's a lot of fun. Like, I want to take on this challenge. And the way that they've kind of set it up in the game makes it feel like it's gonna let you play against other people in a way that's gonna challenge you to keep going. That you're gonna be able to see people's leaderboards and scores on the left-hand side of the screen and know, like, oh, I can do that a little bit better. I can aim to get a better score on that. And not only getting a better score, but with a different set of challenge, a different finger set. Like, I want that challenge, and I want something new and different. And
I think that competitiveness has always sort of been where Guitar Hero excels, is the really tough fingering, the really like difficult songs, and people striving to master them. To me, has sort of been my Guitar Hero experience. Rock Band, on the other hand, has generally been more of a social experience. You get more people playing at the same time. And the question here, I guess, one of them is certainly one of hardware. Because if you buy Guitar Hero Live, you're going to need to buy the game and the hardware. It's going to cost you a significant amount. But Harmonix's currently working to make sure Rock Band peripherals from the past are usable in Rock Band 4. How do we think that's going to affect Rock Band 4 negatively or positively?
Well, so I think it's going to be about $100, I think is what they're aiming for the new Guitar Hero with the guitar. And probably more expensive for if you need to get some of these new instruments. They're letting you use your old instruments, but I know talking with the Harmonix guys and Mad Catz that they are going to have a new set of instruments with a new set of abilities. Like they're very similar to what we played before, but they are better. And like if I play the game, I'm probably going to want to upgrade my instruments as well. Like that's another at least $100.
You're not going to haul the old guitars out of storage. Like that's part of the appeal for me is I already have this stuff. It's going to be more accessible to me.
Not the Rock Band guitars. Those are my least favorite guitars. Like Guitar Hero has always had better hardware. Like in Rock Band, you have the strum that doesn't quite click. Like I never like that. The buttons are always mushy. They don't seem to last as long. Guitar Hero is better. I've always used my Guitar Hero guitar, but playing a little bit with the new Rock Band instruments, like they're better. It's a higher quality, but is that really enough? Like the thing it is that it is like you said a social experience, and that's the thing that's more fun, and that's I think what's missing from Guitar Hero. Like I love being able to do that, but whether I have to buy new instruments or not, I want to have all of those different experiences and let my friends be able to play drums or sing. And only playing guitar, I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, especially after, basically being spoiled by Rock Band, 3-part vocal harmonies, guitars, keyboard, drums. I mean, keyboard's not coming back for Rock Band 4, but drums, guitars, harmonies, I imagine they all are.
Well, keyboard, so there's not going to be a keyboard in the next Rock Band. That's the only thing that they're cutting out entirely.
Right. That's what I was trying to say, but good clarification. I'm not sure if I actually said that. But Rock Band, yeah, there's that social dynamic. So, Mike, you said you were sort of, you got your start with Guitar Hero, but then you swung towards Rock Band. Was it that social impetus that put you there?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was the feeling of actually kind of being part of a band. I mean, I used to, when I was very young, say I was in a band, but don't ever listen to us if you somehow find us, because we weren't good. But
what was the name of your band?
Again, I won't talk about that either. Yeah, so just that feeling of, what your friends playing drums, you're playing guitar, you feel like you're contributing to a song was awesome. And I think it was very much like a great, innovation on the party rhythm-based game. And I think that's definitely an impetus for me to get back into Rock Band, because Guitar Hero has, again, been that competitive pull for me. Although, with Guitar Hero TV and whatnot, the music video stuff, it seems like it could be, make it a little more accessible and make it like social, something you could just jump into at parties and whatnot.
Well, that's the wild card in this. It's how they're going to do music. So Rock Band, I have a ridiculous library of songs that I downloaded, and I never really got into that for Guitar Hero. But at the same time, in Guitar Hero, that you're going to have access to music from the very beginning. That's kind of like a music channel, and like that's kind of appealing. Like as someone who's switched over to things like Spotify, and like that's how I discover music. Is just like, well, I'm just going to turn on this radio basically and listen to stuff. Being able to watch music videos, and so like here's music that's being offered to you and it's constantly new, which Guitar Hero is going to offer. Hopefully, well, I mean, out of the box, it's going to be free for Guitar Hero TV. There's going to be some pricing for individual songs after that, but that amount of lots of content for free it's kind of appealing.
And
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I feel like Guitar Hero TV specifically, more so than live, is something perfect to throw on at a party, because it is like, I think it's a little more accessible. It's more recognizable to people than just the 3D character animations from the past Rock Band and Guitar Hero games.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that you can just have these music videos playing, and again, like Justin said, it is random.
It's more visually interesting, too. I mean, and even if, in Guitar Hero 5, you could play a party mode that allowed you to just drop out of guitar, and then it would be like this. It would play just there's no note highway, you're just playing a music video. So it can, the social, and like, it sort of allows for the ebb and flow of a social situation, as opposed to, I think the pitfall that they were trying to, one of the things they're trying to avoid is that, like, okay, like, what song do you want to play next? Scroll.
Yeah.
Well, I'd play this one. No, I don't want to play. Oh, we just played that one. Yeah, but I really want to. That selection process. Like, for people who, played a fair amount of Rock Band and Guitar Hero in the past, like, that's a big part of the experience. Guitar Hero TV taking a shot at trying to undermine that.
I mean, it goes either way. Like, it's for my group, it was always the singer's choice, and like we would just rotate through all the instruments. So the singer gets up to the mic, they get to choose the song, get to pick something you want to sing, and taking that away, like, well, I mean, there's no vocals, so like it's just a guitar game anyway. But at the same time, like I love being able to sing along with something, and like that's part of that rocking out experience for me. It's not just playing a fake guitar; it's that whole cohesive thing.
Yeah, there's that performance aspect.
Yeah, to be clear, you could still be that weird person in the corner singing along, but there will be
I'm gonna sing anyway. Like,
that's gonna happen.
No one's gonna be scoring you on that.
Unless you get the three
They'll be
weird
judging.
other people, the panel of judges with their numbers, and they sort of get your little Guitar Hero idol going on.
Right.
That's a DLC plan you can maybe pitch to them. All right. So Guitar Hero Live slated for October 10th, Rock Band 4 for October 6th. October is going to be when this all shakes out and we start to see which ones gain momentum. But as of now, we're almost in early August. Who do you think is sort of in the lead? Guitar Hero, Rock Band. Personally, which one are you gravitating towards?
I'm gonna have to go Rock Band 4, but only by a little.
Yeah, the hardware is compelling in Guitar Hero, but Rock Band has all the things that I already know and love, and being able to sing is a really big part. And I like being able to customize my band. Like, I like having my little character, and I have the stupid hat and the custom guitar that I unlocked.
It's pretty neat.
I like it. It's cool.
I got all these stickers on my plastic axe.
So I had my own band when we're playing Rock Band. They were the sexually androgynous hydrangeas.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
It's also going to be my real band's name once I learn. I know this carries over, right? Like Guitar Hero will carry directly over to playing real guitar. That's how it does.
From 2 strings to 6 strings, it's just a totally small leap. No big deal. All right, Mike, Justin, thank you guys for coming on, talking about Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Folks, chime in the comments and let us know what you think. Which one are you leaning towards? Which one do you think has a better campaign so far? And I guess we'll all see how it shakes out coming this October. All right, guys, just one more note of business before we go away here. I'm going to ask you to be our hand models here. Don't take these out of the box. Just hold them.
But wouldn't they be worth more if we,
If you got your grubby fingers all over them? No, Justin, they would not.
No, they got my face oils.
Check it out. Oh, Mary's giving us the okay to open it up. Mike, make a move.
All right.
Take out your gunners, because we're giving away some gunner glasses, Heroes of the Storm branded, for you, folks.
Should I try them on
at
or-
home. Okay. Yeah, put them on. These guys are designed. You guys have seen these before, right? Gunners.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Designed to reduce the fatigue and also make you looks like you have jaundice eyes, or maybe you just came from a shooting range. Anyways, we're giving these things away. You guys want to win these? There's going to be a URL up on screen that you can follow to enter to win. Oh man, look at those eye acrobatics, Mahardy. Nice work. Let's get that up on screen, and you guys can totally enter to win. There it is, GameSpot.com/heroes-of-the-storm-giveaway. I don't know why I said that out loud. You should have just read it. It's way better. Anyways, thanks to the folks at Gunner and Heroes of the Storm for providing these for us to give away. And thank you guys for watching. Good luck entering the contests, and we'll see you next week on The Lobby with Gamescom news galore. And maybe even some more fancy eye maneuvers.